All right. Moving on to number 9. Presentation, Dining in Dell City, expose for January 2023. Discussion, consideration, possible action to approve or deny receiving a presentation from the Economic Development Team on the Dining in Dell City expose recipient for January 2023. Off the Hook Seafood and More, located at 5501 Main Street, Suite 102. Do I hear a motion?
Make a motion that we receive the Dining in Dell City presentation.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Take the vote. Councilman Gandy.
Aye.
Councilman Mooney.
Aye.
Councilman Finch.
Aye.
Councilman Dean.
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. The motion carries. JD, what do you got for us?
Good evening, Council. January's recipient for 2023 is Off the Hook Seafood and More. The owners are Marcello and Taneska Ronald. They were married in 2015 and they both had entrepreneurial spirits. So right away that they knew they wanted to explore various business options together. So they took their enjoyment of feeding people and family and friends at numerous celebrations throughout the year, including Thanksgiving, 4th of July, and an annual Christmas brunch, as well as seafood broils in December the 12th in celebration of Taneska's late mother, Deanne Michelle Williams' birthday. Their home has always been synonymous with amazing food and family and love. Taneska is having the blessed hands, and the menu caters to everyone, and Marcello's ability to do the logistics made the wonderful place called Off the Hook all their own together. Taneska is a pescatarian, so the special seafood menu it was more appetizing for her, and she wanted a place where they could enjoy Cajun food and comfortable family-oriented setting. Off the Hook originated in 2012 with Chef Corey and Lanisha Harris, and they decided they were running it through a food truck. They finally eventually got a brick and mortar restaurant that caters to lovers of Cajun Southern homestyle seafood, and amazingly, the amazing sides that were catered to that. In 2020, following COVID-19 epidemic, they decided that they wanted to turn their business into a franchise. In 2021, Marcello and Taneska made the decision with another business that they wanted to grow for their portfolio. So they already owned a cleaning company and a trucking company. In August 16, 2020, they decided for their 6-year anniversary, they purchased the franchise of Off the Hook Seafood and More. This is Taneska, and Marcello's not here. He had to work, and she's gonna speak.
I'm sorry, I was enjoying my shrimp and grits. Could you repeat all that, please?
Oh, no.
So good.
Thank you.
So hi guys, my husband is a truck driver by profession.
All
So
right.
unfortunately he had to get back on the road yesterday, so he's making the world go round for us. So he couldn't be here, and as well as my staff, we're still open, so they're working. So regrettably they couldn't be here, but they wanted to. We came to Dell City initially because our son was in the Air Force. He's a young kid, so we wanted to be closer to him, and we figured we'd cater to the Air Force and the veterans that live in the area. So that's what brought us to Dell City, basically, because we live in Edmond. So it was either Edmond or Dell City, and I was like, well, we could be closer to him, and then all the veterans that live in the area. So that's why we chose Dell City, and I'm happy with our choice thus far. Also, since we've posted everything, we have gotten more traffic through the door. So thank you guys for that. We appreciate the honor, and we accept it humbly. And if you guys ever need like any private party dining, or we're open to new ideas, and we've already hosted a few private parties. So if you ever need the space, we'll stay open later for you guys, or invite your families, or even if it's just for the city of Dell City, we're always willing to do extra stuff like that.
I actually visited your restaurant not too long after you opened.
I have a story about that.
Uh-oh.
So you know the little old lady that was at the front helping you?
Sure.
She is a character, needless to say. She was like, this was later on, maybe a couple days later, bless her heart, because she's older. But she was like, some guy came in and he was telling me who he was and all about him, and he left this card right here. And I was like, okay, let me see it. And I said, Miss Lori, that was the mayor. And she was like, I didn't know. I didn't look at it. So we all laughed about it, but thanks for coming. And she did tell me that you came in a few days later, but
Yeah.
I was like, well, you got to kind of look at the card and tell me if it's somebody important. But I was like, that was the mayor. She was like, oh, I didn't know.
My
But-
mission was to welcome you to Dell City.
Well, thank you. Did you eat?
I did eat.
What'd you have?
I think I had catfish.
Okay. Did you like it?
I loved it.
Awesome.
Very good.
Okay.
We've tried it too. We've had the smothered rice.
Yes.
Very good.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, well, come in.
Although this shrimp and grits was pretty stinking good.
That's popular. Shrimp and grits is pretty popular. The smothered seafood, you can get it over fries or rice. That's really popular. And then, of course, fried fish because it's safe. So that's like our #1 seller is our fried fish basket. But everything is good. We got po' boys. We got blackened chicken for our non-seafood eaters. So come in and try it. Literally, you can't go wrong. It's just what you have a taste for that day. Yeah, po' boys are good. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you for coming down. Oh,
Oh, yeah.
okay. Forgot about this.
Okay, so before Jamie tried to steal my shine from her,
Play the
while
video
that is
first.
still on your palette and yet to be on you all's palette, we want to show you why you should get hooked on Off the Hook Seafood and More.
Okay. Shrimp and grits.
You did good on that. Rashana killed the video. She did really good on that.
Was that you singing?
I wish. No, it wasn't.
We have a presentation here. Dining in Dell City Expose that you can post. You can't count to three.
Oh, you want to try to come up? Yeah. Everybody. You can run. That was the girl in the video. Wait.
Ron, you want to join us? I say, Ron, you want to join us? No, okay. It is good, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Okay, please do. Anything. If you give me a holler, let me know when you come on. Okay. All that.
Okay. You know, Michael, I was anticipating, maybe you were too, that she was going to tell us she came to Dell City because she heard they had such a great mayor. Is that what you were thinking? Or not? Move on to item number 10, Annual Armed Forces Day and Shriners Parade. Last year, we had the best parade ever, and looks like they're trying to top it this year, and I think we should support that. Discussion, consideration, possible action, approve or deny a cost of $10,000 for the annual Armed Forces Day and Shriners Parade on Saturday, May 6th, 2023 at 10 a.m. Declare or deny a public purpose. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve a cost of $10,000 for the annual Armed Forces Day and Shriners Parade on Saturday, May 6, 2023 at 10 a.m. Declare a public purpose.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Take the vote. Councilman Finch.
Aye.
Councilman Dean.
Aye.
Councilman Mooney.
Aye.
Councilman Gandy.
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. The motion carries. Brittany, are you going to give a presentation?
I don't have much at this point. I will say that we are already having people reach out to us after last year's parade.
Mhm.
They want to be first in line, so
That's
we
my
did
spot.
something right. We're really excited, and yes, we will talk
Tell them,
last year.
tell them the mayor is first in line.
I'll be sure to let them know.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Okay, move on to item number 11. Monthly update from the fire chief. Discussion, consideration, possible action, approve receiving a monthly update from the fire chief. Do I hear a motion?
Make a motion to receive a monthly update from the fire chief.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Take the vote. Councilman Gandy.
Aye.
Councilman Moon.
Aye.
Councilman Finch.
Aye.
Councilman Dean.
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. Chief, what do you got for us? I noticed you come up to the podium and everybody left. I just have to make that notation.
They got their food, and I'm happy for them. They can go out in the hallway and eat it. I'm gonna have to try some of that before or after this little presentation. So I'm gonna briefly update you. We did issue a media release today in regards to the Doris Avenue fire. 2 arrests were made. I do want to give a huge shout out to our fire marshal, fire inspector, and fire marshal and fire inspector, and the Dell City detectives that worked on that, as well as some local ATF agents. It was through that collaboration, that teamwork, that we were able to get some pretty good evidence, and charges were filed, and I think I can be safe to say it's not finished yet. They could still be exploring additional charges. So I know a couple of media outlets ran that information starting tonight. So just want to let you know that the collaboration, the teamwork that all of our investigators did together was really on par. So I'm going to real briefly touch on December, then I want to kind of give a quick overview on 2022. But for December, was a pretty steady month for us, a total of 379 calls. We did have a fire loss of about $336,000 on pre-incident value of a little over $1.1 million. We did have several structure fires, one being the Doris. We had one on Christmas Day during the winter blast that we had, which kind of leads me into my next little deal. Our winter blast, we did see an increased call volume over those 5 days. Did have quite a few requests for water shutoffs, busted pipes. Some businesses did have some sprinkler system pipes damaged. And so our numbers don't include what Public Works responded on. I know Public Works also responded to shut off water to several residents as well. So we were busy in December. Unfortunately, the drought looks like it's going to stay with us. The extended drought that I put in your packet, it's going to stay with us at least through March. So we're going to see some above normal temperatures. I think we're going to see a little dip here in the temperatures next couple of days, but like today, pretty dry for us, and below average precipitation. But for 2022, and I think I've been up here every year for the past 5 years saying we broke another record. We broke another record. So an increase of 4.3% of our total call volumes, 34% in the increased total number of fires that we had, and a 46% increase in our structure fires. Our fire loss was a little over half a million, about $580,000 on pre-incident values of 3.4 million, but saved 2.8 million in property and contents of our residents. And that's one of the things that we really look at is what were we able to save. I always like to throw this stat out at you, but our busiest time frame is the 1 to 2 p.m. Won it for 2022, but it was real close behind the 11 to noon and the 3 to 4. Very close in averages. January was our busiest month, and then followed by September. Mutual aid that we give to other agencies was at 43, and mutual aid that we received was at 35. So we provided more assistance to our neighboring jurisdictions than what we received. Public outreach, with COVID kind of being behind us, we've been able to get back into the schools, continuing doing those things that we always enjoy doing, and because quite a few of these are because of Brittany, but we love Brittany. But out there with our Easter egg hunt, our trunk or treat, had a great time with trunk or treat, Armed Forces Parade that's already been talked about, our firefighters participating in 9/11 events, both in Oklahoma City at Tinker, and some of our other public outreach that we do is providing smoke detectors to our elderly and low income. So we do continue that program. Training is always big for our department and our firefighters. 34, and including the 4 staff, we put in a little over 8,000 hours of training, and that's everything from our required fire, required EMS, to hazmat, to rescue, officer development, active shooter, and many other topics. Like I mentioned earlier, our fire marshal's office was busy. They did 361 annual inspections where they go out to existing businesses, and it's just mainly, we want to make that business as safe for the employees as well as the patrons coming in, making sure exits aren't blocked, make sure extinguishers are up to date. Those are the things that we really stress. It's just the public safety component of that. We had 5 arson fire investigations, including a very large meth lab operation in the summer, and unfortunately we did have 2 fire fatality fire investigations. And then just a couple of other little things. We finished the closeout of our SAFER grant 2017, which funded 3 firefighters. We're in the 3rd year of our SAFER 18, which gave us 2 more additional firefighters, so we're almost finished with that. We closed out our FEMA ice storm reimbursement grant, so everything that was to come to us from FEMA and the state, we received. So we were able to close that out. And here's kind of a little wow stat. So if we compare our stats from 2022, go back 10 years, our call volume has increased 30.5%. If we go back 20 years to 2002, our call volume has increased 93%. Pretty substantial. So our numbers are up there. Our calls for service are up there, but our guys are meeting the need, going out into the public, emergency, non-emergency responses, and I can't speak highly enough about what a great group of individuals we have. So, other than that, unless there's any questions.
So let's go back to the free fire detectors.
Mm-hmm.
So what does a citizen have to do to get that? Do they just walk into the station? Do they have to fill out paperwork?
We do ask them to fill out a paperwork. One of the things, since most of it is through grants that we receive, so if they are in an apartment complex, the apartment is supposed to provide that for them. If they are renting, then the landlord is supposed to provide that for them. And we say that in that we're not going to deny a Dell City resident a smoke detector. So we want to make sure that it's placed back on the property owner to ensure that there's smoke detectors in place of rental properties, businesses, etc. If they don't, we will come in to the resident and install a smoke detector. They can give us a call. Our firefighters will go out and install them for them. We'll even come out and change the battery. So a lot of times the extra grant money that we have, we'll buy a bunch of 9-volt batteries. So we reach out to some of our locals, Walmart, Home Depot, to try to get the smoke detectors or some type of grant to go purchase smoke detectors. All they need to do is give us a call. You bet.
I have a question.
Yes.
If homeowners would like to find out if there's fire extinguishers any good, is that something you guys can do?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
If it has a plastic top, then those are they're disposable. They can't be recharged. If there's a metal top to it, then those can be recharged.
Okay.
If they haven't been used, if they've never been used, if they've always stayed in the same spot,
They've been there for 22 years?
then it's probably time to renew it, because a lot of times that powder will just collect at the bottom. It wouldn't hurt every once in a while just to turn it upside down and give it a good shake. But if in doubt, it probably wouldn't be a bad idea to purchase a new one.
All right, thank you.
Yes.
So Chief, whenever you're saying that you went out to the schools and get to do that more often, are you guys training the kids on like stop, drop, and roll and other type of thing?
We'll do whatever. We always preach the stop, drop, and roll. We always preach, once you're out, stay out. There's certain little keywords that we like to use. Don't fear a firefighter in gear. Hide, don't go outside, or go outside, don't hide. That's one of the things that a lot of kids will do, is they'll get into a closet or under a bed in time of a fire. We want them to stop, drop, and roll, get out, crawl like a baby. There's a lot of different mnemonics.
But you are getting to have
Yeah.
like a school assembly and go through these things with everybody?
Usually it's more of on a classroom or a grade level versus the entire school at one time. So a lot of kindergartners, they'll give us a holler and we'll go out. I think we've got one coming up with Dell City Elementary here in the next couple of days.
So my suggestion would be is just to make sure we're getting everybody trained, because I think that unlike you and I, who got it for sure, it's just that this current generations might not
Right.
be getting all that information.
Right.
The other one is several times in the last several cold years, certain buildings always have the fire sprinklers freeze and bust, and cost probably thousands to and more money. Question is such as the church, St. Lane Southern Baptist, ones that have the fixed ones, and we've directed them to have it whenever they built it. Is there a way for them to turn it off for a freeze emergency? Because what I'm just thinking is that you do such a great job at forecasting this, telling us what the National Weather Service is, putting out these urgent messages. We already know who has it. You probably already have the 15 buildings that have this, and maybe put that on the list for the freeze emergency, to send out a note to these people to say, for this certain time, if you want to shut it off, please let us know. And then please, get it. Because my part is I'm wondering if because of the insurance side that they would be hesitant to do that, but if we declare an emergency authorizing
Sure.
an emergency situation, maybe we can prevent some of this damage.
And I see where you're going with that. And so let me, I don't see, okay, so let's say, for example, the exposed pipe that we have in here right now, the exposed water pipe. In a pipe that's in a non-climate controlled area, say in an attic or something like that, where it's not heated, or you have some of your outdoor storage areas like Walmart, those should be what's called a dry system. So the only time that would be activated is if you have a fire and the heat causes that sprinkler to activate. Once what we call a fusible link, once it opens, there's a lot of air that escapes, and once that air pressure reaches a certain level, it opens up a clapper valve, and then that's where the water comes from. What should not be happening is that you should not have a sprinkler system that has water in it in an unclimate controlled area. So they may have a leak in their system that they may not know about. So that's why it's real important to have that sprinkler system annually tested to know what pressure shows on the system. If we run into that situation, what we also run into is now we have an unprotected occupancy that requires a sprinkler system. Say, like, for example, a nursing home, if we tell them to turn their sprinkler system off, and then we have a fire
again,
that
the thought
night,
would be is not that we're telling them to turn it off.
Mhm.
And the thought would be is it's not for that situation, but for the church, it's not going to be open anyway.
yeah.
How about, do we send the fire inspector out for false sprinkling, so whenever the church gets doused? Because the question being is, gets back to stop, drop, and roll.
Mhm.
The building owners aren't educated on the fire sprinkler system. It's just what happens. And so perhaps getting out there and showing that, no, that's not a normal event. This shouldn't have been this.
So to follow up that, once we have a system that has to be shut down for whatever, for repairs, that sprinkler system is required to contact the fire marshal's office, say, this system is going to be in test mode. If it's a residential area, say like a nursing home, overlay tower, et cetera, we would require them to go into fire watch, and that has happened several times, especially like a school where they are supposed to be protected under a system, but the system is down, then they go into a fire watch. And that occupancy is responsible for paying for off-duty firefighters to do fire watch while that building is being occupied. So, yes, we receive notification. Once that system goes back up, then the sprinkler system lets us know that they are back in green tag. So when our inspectors go out and do the annual inspection, that's one of the things they check, is to make sure that that sprinkler system is current, and that it has been green tagged and is current in the inspection. If not, we don't shut them down. We say, hey, we found a deficiency. You're going to stay open, but I need you to get it corrected. Get hold of the alarms. Get a hold of the sprinkler system. Have them come out, do an inspection. Call us. Let us know you're good to go, because that's one of the things the insurance companies want to know, is that they have a current inspected system, because that's part of the protection that lowers their insurance, the liability, correct, by having a sprinkler system. But we run into, for whatever number of reasons, when we have a cold event, why did we have a sprinkler system activate when it should have been a dry system, or when it should have been in a climate controlled area? I threw a lot in there for you. And I know you all, especially the mayor, is real big on competitions. So on one of your pages, I broke down the number of calls per zone. And if you can imagine looking at Del City on a map, going from north to south, west to east, the farthest northwest corner is going to be section 1, zone 1, and the lowest southeast is going to be zone 8. So you can look to see who had the highest call volume.
Don't we
Yeah,
need to define what's the winner and the weird?
So
What the real winner?
I didn't
and
realize
loser
I
would be?
was Ward 5, or Zone 5.
Yeah. So now, I will say, a certain mayor's area had the highest call volume, but it's because they had 3 high call volume occupancies, 2 nursing homes and 1 of the hotels.
In
And
my
so
office.
those are high call volumes for us. So that's why that number's pretty skewed right there. So other than that, they're pretty equal after that. So
Thank you.
thank y'all. Anything else? All right, y'all have a good evening. Thank you.
All right. Move on to item number 12, destruction of electronic files older than 10 years. Discussion, consideration, possible action to approve or approve with modifications or deny authorizing the destruction of electronic files within the Economic Development and Community Services Departments that are older than December 31, 2012, unless otherwise required for retention per 11 OS Section 22-131. Do I hear a motion?
Make a motion, we approve as written.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
So, question is about your files. What, if, whether it takes up a gigabyte of space, or I mean, we're talking 25 gigabytes or terabytes of data.
We're in the terabyte range, yes,
They're
sir.
in the terabytes.
So every time a code official goes out to take photos of an area that's got tall weeds and grass, miscellaneous junk and trash, anything of that nature, we take anywhere from 5 to 10 to 15 photos to make sure we meet the requirements of the judges, of the city attorney, of my requirements and my policy. So as we do that, the documents have filled out. The law requires us keeping things for no more than 10 years. Anything past that, if we maintain it, is subject to the Open Records Act. We get open records requests, Miss Melissa, daily, hourly, minute by minute. And so depending on what they ask for, they may ask for everything from 3701 Southeast 15th, and whatever we have, we're required to review. So it could go back as far as 2007, 2006, 2005, none of which those code complaints are still necessary. The only items that we would keep are if we still have a certificate of occupancy from that same person that's been there for 25 years. We'll maintain those types of files, but all of the backup pictures, because one person had tall weeds and grass in 2009, is no longer relevant. The statute of limitations has passed, I hope, significantly, yes. Usually code details, ticket items are only required for a year, but in this case, we're keeping them no longer than 10. So we're requesting anything from December 31 of 2012 back that is not required to be kept by law and not still an active investigation be removed from our servers.
Thank you, JD. All right, any further discussion? Take the vote. Councilman Gandy?
Aye.
Councilman Finch?
Aye.
Councilman Dean?
Aye.
Councilman Mooney?
Aye.
Votes aye, the motion carries. Further council input?
Yes, sir.
Aye.
The question I've got for you is have we started considering what we're going to possibly be doing for the Blue Angels or Thunderbirds coming in this summer? So I just want to put that on our radar that we should be looking into it.
So I noticed Mr. Guy Howie walked in. Guy, we've got a pancake supper coming up March the 9th at 4 p.m. at the Dell City Community Center. I should have put that at the front of the meeting for non-agenda items. Okay. All right. Well, glad to. Right. Okay. Any further council input?
Make a motion, we adjourn to DCMSA.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Take the vote. Councilman Gandy?
Aye.
Councilman Finch?
Aye.
Councilman Dean?
Aye.
Councilman Mooney?
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. We are now adjourned to the Dell City Municipal Services Authority. Call the meeting to order. Melissa, would you call the roll, please?
Trustee Gandy.
Here.
Trustee Mooney.
Here.
Trustee Finch.
Here.
Trustee Dean.
Here.
And Chairman Eason.
Chairman is here. Is there any public input on non-agenda items for the municipal services? Seeing none, do any of the trustees have anything? Seeing none, manager's report. Item number 5 is minutes. Discussion, consideration, possible action to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of DCMSA of January 3rd, 2023. Do I hear a motion?
Make a motion, we approve the minute.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Take the vote. Councilman Trustee Gandy.
Aye.
Trustee Dean.
Aye.
Trustee Finch.
Aye.
Trustee Mooney. Aye, the motion carries. Any further trust input?
Motion that we adjourn to the Dale City Economic Development Authority.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Take the vote. Trustee Dean.
Aye.
Trustee Gandy.
Aye.
Trustee Mooney.
Aye.
Trustee Finch.
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. We are now adjourned to the Dale City Economic Development Authority.
This is the Dell City Economic Development Authority. Melissa, will you call roll, please?
Trustee Gandy. Trustee Mooney.
Here.
Trustee Dean.
Here.
Trustee Eason.
Here,
And Chairwoman Finch.
Here. Item 3, is there any public input at this time?
Hi again. Okay, so I want to give you all a quick update for a non-agenda item. As you all know, we're under contract with Road Ranger LLC to purchase our property on Scott Street. I did want to let you know that the city attorney, the trust woman, and myself have all received documentation. They have questions about the title work that has been performed. I have our outside attorneys looking into it right now. Michael Dean has been nice enough to look over it with me today and to provide me with a lot of insight on what we're looking at. But I want to let you know they've officially reviewed the title work. They provided us quite an extensive list of things that they want to see reviewed and worked on, so we are going to work diligently on that, and we should have an update within 2 weeks from our outside attorneys.
good.
Any other public input? Any trustee input? Item 4, minutes. Discussion, consideration, possible action to approve minutes of the regular meeting of DCEDA of December 5th, 2022. Do I hear a motion?
Make a motion, we approve the minutes.
Second.
Any discussion? Take a vote. Trustee Gandy.
Aye.
Trustee Mooney.
Aye.
Trustee Eason.
Aye.
Trustee Dean.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion passes. Item 5, presentation. Dell City Development Video. Discussion, consideration, possible action to approve, deny receiving a presentation to view the Dell City Development Video to be used in the DCEDA and the Economic Development Director. I hear a motion.
Make a motion to approve the presentation of the video.
Second.
Any discussion? Take a vote. Trustee Dean.
Aye.
Trustee Gandy.
Aye.
Trustee Mooney.
Aye.
Trustee Eason.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Hi, JD.
Hi.
Spell your name, please.
J.D. Yeah. So, hi, everybody. This is an idea that I came up with a couple of weeks ago. As you all may or may not be aware, I am going to our Commerce Serving Communities Conference. I'm leaving tomorrow for, it's called the Red River Conference, and it's going to be in Dallas. And it is a great deal of retail folks that are interested in expanding their businesses, most of them corporate in nature. And it is a chance for them to connect with cities, developers, landowners, things of that nature. And it's going to take place in Dallas over the next 3 days. So I will be heading down there, and the one thing they told me is to prepare your elevator pitch. So as I'm sitting at home one evening, I said, as much as I love this city, as you all know, I tend to be long-winded. I'm waiting. I thought you'd have something to say about that. So if we have an elevator pitch and we need to do something quickly, what can we do? So I contacted Miss Rashana, and she answered the phone after hours, which was, mistake number 1. But she loves us, and she did. So I asked her to help make a video that I can take with me, either on an iPad or something that I can post on the website. So whenever I'm trying to show people why they should come and relocate to the city of Del City, what's in it for them, what makes this place so great. So without further ado, Ms. Rashana?
Excellent.
I will say she photoshopped that photo at the end. I really appreciate that. So this is our third draft of what we've done. This is what I'm going to be taking with us this weekend. If you all have any ideas of things to change, of course, this goes, 2.5 minutes, I believe? About 2 minutes and 17 seconds. So a good solid elevator pitch for Del City. If you have any ideas for changes, please write them down, give them to us. We're all interested in updating it. I would like to see this video narrated by a certain city clerk that has an awesome voice that would be great for this. So I'm trying to twist her arm into doing that in the coming weeks. But for this coming up with just an idea that I had one evening, Ms. Rashana took it and ran with it, and it is absolutely amazing. So we're very excited about it. So thank you, Rashana.
Thank you, Rashana. Okay, item 6, executive session. Discussion, consideration, possible action, if any, to approve recessing to executive session pursuant to the Oklahoma Open Meeting Act 25 OS 301 for the purpose of the following. A, economic development. Discussion, considering confidential matters pertaining to economic development, including the transfer of property, financing, or the creation of a proposal to entice a business to locate within the city of Del City, including but not limited to areas of Southeast 15th Street from Tinker Diagonal to Sooner Road, and Sooner Road from Main Street to Southeast 12th Street, as provided in 25 OS 307C11, as the public disclosure of the matters discussed would interfere with the development of products or services, and public disclosure would violate the confidentiality of the businesses. Item B, purchase or appraisal of real property. Discussion concerning the purchase or appraisal of real property, including but not limited to limited to Northeast 10th and Sunny Lane pursuant to 25 OS 307B3. Madam Counselor, do these items hold justification for executive session? I'm sorry.
Yes, Madam Chair, these are appropriate items for executive session.
Okay, thank you.
Make a motion, we go to executive